leadership so far. It's been a little bit slow going at points, but overall, good to have you guys with me as we jump into this best of 5 series. In the bottom right hand side, our blue Protoss player. This is ShoWTimE from Makers. Taking on the red Zerg from Infinity Gaming. In the top left, Namshar. Namshar, ShoWTimE have a hell of a rivalry that's actually very one-sided. It's not so much a rivalry as it is victimizing when it comes to Namshar, who just consistently loses against ShoWTimE until much more recently. It's very interesting, actually. So, ShoWTimE didn't lose a series against Namshar for, like, it was crazy. It was like, he was like 27-1 or something. And then finally, Namshar was able to take a map off of ShoWTimE in Nation Wars. In fact, he took 2 maps off of ShoWTimE in Nation Wars. But after that, ShoWTimE went back to killing it. And finally, the first time ever, Namshar was able to take down ShoWTimE in a best of 3 or above. Was on the SC on the DL. And then in an offline event for the first time ever in the WCS, I guess it's not actually offline, it was online. The Challenger, WCS Challenger, Namshar 2-1 ShoWTimE as well. And that was obviously the first time Namshar really run a best of 3 in a Premier event against ShoWTimE. So overall, ShoWTimE is still 60-18 in maps and 27-4 in series. It's still pretty one-sided, and obviously 2 of those series are best of 1, so really, in terms of best of 3 series plus, it's like 24-2 or something. It's kind of crazy, very one-sided. But again, Namshar is the player who's definitely gotten better and better and better, and has absolutely come to be the point where he'll be competing and taking maps off of ShoWTimE. So as we get this going, Overlord is just going to sit overhead here for a moment. The Adapt already, Chrono boosting out from ShoWTimE. Here on Tridon, we already enter a map which is really got the potential to be long and kind of like a very late game scenario. It's one of those maps where pushing into the Zerg can get a little bit tough as the game goes by. You have got quite a few pushes up this side into this area here where the Zerg kind of has to defend forward, otherwise they get force fielded into a choke point by the hatchery. So aggressive attacks on that side can definitely work out, but if it doesn't work, you generally do go 4, then 5, then 6 bases even. Quite quickly and quite easily. Like, it kind of flows into that sort of setup very quickly. So with that said, we do see this Overlord still flying around in the natural. Adept going to pop out of the gateway and warp gate. Still on the way in here, just going to be about halfway done in a few moments time. There's this Overlord just flying on towards the main base. So it's going to be nibbling its way down this through this Overlord. Hey, what's up, Zipship? Thank you so much for the gifted sub, hitting ShoWTimE. Thank you so much for dropping a sub in the chat. Get some hype in the chat. Thank you so much, Zipship. Appreciate the support, dude. Thank you so much. As we do have the first Overlord picked off, that Stargate opener of the Phoenix into an Oracle. Just the one Oracle is going to be a Twilight and a Robo follow-up, so probably just heading in towards an Archon drop follow-up here. And it's kind of the expected sort of go-to. As this Oracle of ShoWTimE is heading out over to the left-hand side, so heading over to the left, have a little bit of a look to see what's going on. 6 more Zerglings on the way up in the meanwhile from Namshar. 5 more drones in production. A couple of extractors added in as well, as here we go. ShoWTimE up the left, going to be heading into the main base. Phoenix and the Oracle leaving a charge. A little bit of a tag on that Overlord there. Oracle is going to find a drone right away as the Phoenix dealing some good damage to these Overlords too. So a little bits and pieces being done at the moment as the extractor to the side. Setting up as well. So just seeing again more Overlords, more Virtual coming up. It's really just preparation for ShoWTimE being aggressive, and ShoWTimE is going to get a bit aggressive. Charge is already on the way, so there's obviously the potential to not just have the Archon drop, but also reinforce with a few Zealots. And if you have a few Zealots running in when the Archon drop is going on, it can really do a lot. Oh, Storm! Wasn't expecting that. A fast Storm upgrade is absolutely a bit of a different way to go about things here. Wow, that's really quite something. Very interesting then, as we do see this Oracle of ShoWTimE being pushed out over the left-hand side there. Halfway done here as well. 9 more roaches in production. Queen's killing off the Phoenix, and again a few more High Templar just on the way out. Storm halfway done as well. Going to be seeing the third Nexus is just coming through, and will be done in the next couple moments. Left finishing up from Namshar in the natural expansion, and a couple more Overlords, a couple more Queens continuing on out here. A couple more Extractors over on that third base, so setting up into all of that as you do see the War Prism, Archon, 2 High Templar setting up over on the left hand side, and we'll be looking to push those up in towards the main base. Zerglings from Namshar into the middle of the map as well, and just going to be seeing this Nexus on the bottom side, the third. It's going to be finished up very soon too, so getting that rolling as again the War Prism heading towards the main base, and Zerglings will take a bit of damage as Zealots go charging forwards right away. So a bunch of Zerglings do get cleaned out as the Prism with a couple of Storms available. I mean, it's the Storms that you don't really expect here, and the drones do start to pull pretty quickly. Doesn't do too much as 1 High Templar actually got picked off as well, so ShoWTimE not super successful there. 4 drones, but the cost of a High Templar I wouldn't say is too amazing at all. Now Namshar heads into the Hydra Den, and Namshar's playstyle in ZVP has pretty much always been revolving around Lurkers. He absolutely loves to play Lurkers in that kind of Roche Hydra Lurker style. Helps to draw the game out quite a bit, and then he would generally go into some Overlord drops towards the main base and so on and stuff like that, so absolutely kind of way that Namshar loves to play this matchup. And it really matches quite interestingly against ShoWTimE, who is absolutely the kind of player who will sit back, defend, build into late game and go from there. He is, he loves that kind of play style. So as we set up into this, we see this Stalker continue to do quite a bit of damage here. This Overseer again pushed out from the natural second robot facility, dropping in on the third base as well. 2 more gateways on the way out, as we will have the War Prism up the right side with a High Templar inside still, so 1 Storm available, maybe 2, not sure how much energy that High Templar has at the moment. Yeah, I actually took the Archon back home, just dropped it off and said, yep, just going to make sure I defend the third base here before we get into the next little bit of this game. 1 Storm. Yeah, you know what, that's 5 drones, it's not bad, no response from Namshar, just sort of sits there through it. Problem is, once you kind of get hit by the Storm, pulling units through the Storm is actually almost worse than just sitting in it. It's a bit 50-50 for drones, but if you don't see it soon enough, you're probably not going to save them anyways, so Namshar's just like, yeah, okay. Maybe I'll get a couple extra minerals if I let them keep mining. 3 drones is not too game-ending right now. Like, if this was an entire mineral line, you have to pull away, right, and try and save as much as you can, but 1 Storm, you lose a couple of drones, it's very manageable. Templars out some Mortals pressing forwards here. We're going to be seeing some Roaches continue to go down. Revelation on the Roaches and the Hydras. Another Storm or 2 dropping in as well. Hydra's taking quite a bit of damage, and another Storm. I mean, there's 1 Roach which is just trying to target down a High Templar. It's a brave effort, but it doesn't quite work out. ShoWTimE will lose position on that 4th potential base that he was setting up for. Had a pylon there, but yeah, I mean, with the Storms, there should not really be a way for Namshar to push further into this. Now, we talked a lot about the Lurkers before, and while that was happening, the Spider was on the way up. We never actually saw the Lurkers come into play. Now we're going to be seeing Mutalisks on the way out, so we are seeing a tech choice being made for Namshar to set up, and it is just going to be his way of trying to change this game a bit, getting some mutas and using those to try and harass around. He's actually just going to fly in on top of this army. ShoWTimE will drop the 2 Storms that he has, and 2 more as well. Morphing in the Archon's obviously going to be a pretty sturdy form of defense, as we do see the mutas trying to get one of the Archons. Will get it, but at the cost of a couple of Mutalisks there due to the micro and the target firing, and actually flies out via a couple of cannons for 1 more Mutalist to go down. So that's what, 2 mutas lost? Not too bad here just yet. As we still do see the army from ShoWTimE setting up at the front and a couple more. Couple more units just getting set to go. Apologies, excuse me for a moment. +1 melee on the way up here from Namshar, and just continuing with the upgrades as Zerglings from Namshar will go up the left-hand side. Lots of mutas still up in the sky, right? And they are scary because if you let this guy out of control just for a moment, you can absolutely fall into quite a lot of trouble here. So ShoWTimE has to be quite careful. I like this with the Archons, with the Warp Prism, good micro, good control. Really making the most of these. I mean, he lost the first Archon kind of quick, but the second Archon kept alive and really getting some extra shots off. It helps a lot, especially, you know, because it's splash damage. Goes a long way as those Stalkers pulling back again. Mutas continue to pick up a bunch of kills. Stalkers dealing some more damage. These couple Archons here looking to intercept, not quite getting the range they need. And again, you've got to be careful because those Mutas are in the numbers where they can split up a little bit and just dive onto a couple of high tempo. Pro Observer stormed down. Some friendly fire there as ShoWTimE opted for this forward 4th base instead now rather than the one a bit more off to the right. It means if he's focusing a bit more on the left side of the map, he might go down here for a 5th. It's still quite far away though compared to just taking a 5th here. Try and build up that Phoenix camp. Every time he starts to get a couple, ShoWTimE ends up losing a Phoenix or two to the Mutalisk. So just has to be a little bit careful with those in the control as Mutalisk actually just going to dive into this fight. So they're going to commit onto what was an Archon, a bunch of Stalkers, and the Phoenix obviously firing away. 18 probes going down. ShoWTimE continue to lose quite a few workers. Another storm drops on the natural, and I mean, Namshar is still trading pretty well, all said and done. And he starts up 11 more Mutalisks, so he's going to stick with this very Mutalisk-heavy style. So Namshar is really sticking to the idea of just being aggressive and keeping the attacks up and through, you know, going on in all of this. Meters from Namshar pulling away over to the right side there. We do see couple more Meters on the way out, +1 melee, finishing on this Evo chamber, and more Zerglings around in the center of the map. Hydras, Lings coming around as well, and we do still see Immortal Zealots and Archons from ShoWTimE out over to the left. Mutalisks down at the right. Oh, Zerglings are going to sneak by into the natural expansion there, so Zerglings able to get quite a lot done, as we're going to see a couple more Zealots will warp in. Wow, this is really nice. I mean, this is the kind of run that puts ShoWTimE into really quite a lot of trouble. The Phoenix number's a bit better, but the Mutalisk pulling back. Okay, Shield Battery should keep a lot of these Phoenix alive, but man, there's so many Mutalisks. I think ShoWTime's starting to realize that he's actually ran his Phoenix way out of Shield Battery range. Meanwhile, the Lings are still in the natural expansion. The Zealots are being held up by the wall off. They can't break through. The Storm tries to drop on the Mutas as they fly by as well, and Namshar is absolutely forcing mistakes. Meanwhile, we've got a fight in the center. Hydras are being picked off. I mean, so are Immortals. It's really a back and forth massacre. So many units going down all over the place. Now we're going to see the Mutas try to dive in over here as well. Archons does not get a morph in before the High Templar are killed, but now the Phoenix are back in play, and they are chasing down the Mutalisks. A few of them staying in range there, and the Muta count has been absolutely shut down at its head. 7 Mutalisks remaining, and it's 20 Hydras in the production tab spot. It was 20, now there's 20 on the map. 7 more in production here. A lot more Hydralisks on the way out as we're going to be seeing the Phoenix heading down to the bottom side. Again, those Hydras setting up as well. Immortals will deal a little bit more damage. A bunch more Hydras continuing to drop. 2 more Zealots from ShoWTimE on the bottom side of this. And again, Infestation Pit going to be finishing up in a few moments' time. Mutalisks from Namshar out over to the right-hand side. Lings and Hydras pressing forwards as well. Still a few Zerglings running around, going to morph into 10 Banelings. Just going to see this Archon from ShoWTimE on the way up as we do see again the Phoenix able to come forward, able to pick off a Mutalisk, and yeah, I mean, Hydra's dealing some damage as well. Never Nexus on the way up here down in the front. Try and get towards a 5th base as we are going to see a few Zealots trying to run forwards, and Resources lost this game has been favoring ShoWTimE despite all the damage taken. You gotta remember though that he has been obviously mining a bit less because of the damage taken being on his economy. So it kind of makes up for a little bit for Namshar. As I love this fight at the start here though from ShoWTimE. Takes the fight up to the top, take the fight on the bottom. Amazing Archon morph, but actually was saved by the Stasis Ward anyways. Phoenix lifted up a bunch of Hydras, and ShoWTimE is honestly going to win out this fight as long as he can deal with these last couple of Banelings, which he does very well. ShoWTimE wins out a fight. Amazing stuff. I mean, it's only ShoWTimE that can put up with all of this pressure, all of this aggression, and still come out fighting when it's all said and done. Surprised these Immortals stood so on top of the Banelings, but it doesn't really matter. A fleet beacon on the way out is, I mean, obviously ShoWTimE is expecting something even later game here from Namshar. Zealots, Archons, and Immortals pressing through the center. Stargate going to be finishing up, and Nexus on the right-hand side setting up as well. That +2 melee upgrade will be finishing. So melee upgrade finishing, Archon about to finish morphing in as well. Hive on the way up, going to be completing shortly. more cannons on the way out, and again, just going to be seeing Ling's Hydras hold themselves around this right-hand side here. The battery builds up as well, as the Zerg's going to sneak by in towards this mineral line. So 3, 4, 5 probes already down. Again, Namshar keeps finding openings to deal quite a bit of damage to the economy of Namshar. To ShoWTimE, sorry. The big issue for Namshar in this game is that he really has been pretty low tech. And what I mean by that is obviously he's playing Mutalisk, etc. But now he's kind of stuck on kind of what, like Ling Bane Hydra, and it's not even that many Banes, etc. He's starting up the Great Aspire, but it's that stage of the game where you kind of expect the Great Aspire to already be in play. And ShoWTimE kept a good amount of Immortals and so on alive, and because of that, he's been able to fight this Ling Bane Hydra force very effectively. And that's why these trades continue to go pretty well for ShoWTimE here. Yes, in this one he's a little bit late to come over with the rest of the army, but when he gets here, it turns into a pretty great trade. These couple of Archons should just be a bit careful. Obviously, no shields left on them. ShoWTimE still chasing, getting some more damage done again. Great Aspire halfway done from Namshar. We are going to be seeing a couple of Banelings going to get picked off too. 2 more High Templar from ShoWTimE, warping in on the 4th base. Storm numbers are obviously going to be very important to keep, and as the Great Aspire comes up, remember, ShoWTimE already built a Fleet Beacon, he already has a 2nd Stargate, so, in fact, he has 3 Stargates, so he's actually in a position already here, ShoWTimE, to build up Tempests against those Broodlords. Obviously just needs the real kind of recognition that this is going to be Broodlords to start building those, but when he needs to build them, he can build them quickly. As we are going to be seeing again, just army setting this in a good split here from ShoWTimE. Has an army on that 5th base, an army on the 4th, and both are sizable enough to deflect the current threat that Namshar is posing. There's going to be a few Balins running forwards here. Cannons will do what they can to help out as probes will pull. There's not a lot of probes on this base, only 8 workers go down. One picked off there as the unpowered cannon gets healed up by the shield battery. Unfortunately, that's not going to help too much, but you know, only 7 workers, and that was actually quite a lot of Banelings from Namshar as well. I feel like he's expecting there to be more workers here, but this base, I mean, it's 80 minutes in game. This base has been manning out, so I guess the other issue is as well, that's the only base you can really find an access point to at the moment, because the other bases are pretty well covered by the 2 armies that are split up from ShoWTimE. So realistically, that was the only location you could go into. Just feel like he could have done a similar amount with less Banelings, and that would have been less of a commitment. As for the first time in a long time, ShoWTimE is actually across the map himself, and it's with a force of Zealots. Going to hit down this top right-hand side hatchery, and the target fire is there, so they will not turn onto the Zerglings until the Broodlings pop, at which time the Zealots have already done their job at 9 a base, and keeping this at bay. Tempest production has started up as the first Broodlords get a taste of that Tempest shot fire as well. Broodlords having to pull back just that little bit as well. Wings and Hydras still coming around. We see these Hydras going to press up this ramp up in towards that high ground there. Corruptor's coming forwards as well, but it will not do much. The Archon underneath is actually doing quite a bit. Corruptor's, that's definitely a bit of a miscontrol for Namshar. He's perhaps a bit more worried about this Hydra Bane force, who's being picked off as well. A few Broodlings do drop down there. ShoWTimE just giving himself some space, backing away, actually really chased quite hard up this right-hand side. When you know the Broodlord's on the left, you know there's not too much on the right. So it's not too dangerous to chase, especially when you've got like an army like this. You'll know it probably trade pretty effectively before it goes down anyways. And then he just put it back if you want to chase too far. And now his Tempest picking up the Broodlord, so one Broodlord going down, another Storm or 2 dropping as well. Corruptors, again, just kind of not in high enough numbers and just being picked off as they do come forwards. And obviously, when they're not in high enough numbers, then they start getting picked off as well. It becomes a big issue. Well, now Archons, Zealots, Immortals all pressing up this high ground. And this is what ShoWTimE's been waiting so patiently for, and this is why ShoWTimE is so good, because he will wait and wait and wait until it's absolutely his moment to attack and deal damage. And that's what happens here. I mean, he finally finds the chance, although he is losing Tempest. A lot of Storms. The problem is he just isn't getting through the Void Ray, the Corruptors on the left-hand side fast enough. He might want to get some Void Rays. Honestly, the Archons and Storms should be good enough. It's just those Corruptors on the left side and the army was on the right. So it's just kind of a little bit of a weird split away compared to where it maybe should have been. Have a couple of kills. Is going to see 3 more Tempests on the way up, plus 2 air weapons on the side core, plus 3 attack on the ground on the forge. Another hatchery over on the side here. A couple more Zards warping in the Void Ray on the way up. Another Tempest going to be popping in a moment, and again, just some Zerglings already splitting away over to the left-hand side. Zards charging up into the top right-hand corner, and already seeing again a bunch more drones being picked away at, so a little bit of damage being done there. Will be a cleanup, but not a cheap cleanup, as Zards pick off Zerglings on the left side as well. Gonna have a bit of a force of those just pressing forward. ShoWTimE again, very good now, just continue to send units from one side to the other. And it keeps Namshar so busy, and it's what's allowed ShoWTimE to very easily get this base up on the bottom left. As he stretches himself out more thinly, he's almost safer because he has been applying that pressure. And his Broodlords are being chased down in the center, and well, Tempest will find one of them. Another one's pressed too far forwards. Miscontrolled, unfortunately, as so it's not really going to do much up on this right-hand side. There's not a lot of units here. As the recall comes into play, not the Mothership, the Nexus just bringing those units back. Hey, that's nice storms on the mineral line on top of the hatchery going down. He's going to storm on top of these Corruptors. There's Archons here as well. These Corruptors, man. Namshar's just been very weak with his army control. He's been very, very poor pulling those Corruptors out of, dangerous moments, etc. I feel like that's really letting ShoWTimE down, Namshar down a little bit right now, because he's had a good army multiple times, and every time he's just had a couple units straying off here and there, and yeah, this late game army control has definitely been a bit of a struggle for him. So Archons, Tempest heading up the right side. On the left, we do see Zards charging in, and a bunch more drones going down again. 18, 19 workers killed. Well, this is actually a really devastating blow, because this is that's 26 drones and the hatchery, right? Infestus spawns and is going to drop a couple fungal growths because it's pretty close to going down. Anything it can do to help out over here is this army on the right side trading out as well. ShoWTimE is just instantly rebuilding. He's starting to introduce carriers to the army as well, and ShoWTimE is just entering that kind of god stage of his composition where it's just going to get to the point where it's just going to be so good. It's going to be really hard to break it down. 15 more drones in production still from Namshar. A couple more carriers in production from ShoWTimE too, and Tempest, Archons, and Immortals pressing out to the center of the map here. Again, more drones going down as the Oracles make themselves known this time over on the right-hand side. Fungal growth is good, the Corruptor Fire cleans up. Still Lings and Hydras coming out to the left, Infestors. In the middle of the map as well, a couple more Queens still gathering up as well. And we still have these carriers continuing to build out too. Plus 2 shields, plus 3 air weapons. It's a moment or two of just calm, but it's ShoWTimE that's maxed out and will be absolutely looking to be the one creating some pressure once again. He's got carriers starting to add into the army, and the Infestors are absolutely a good choice for Namshar, but is it just too late? The problem is Namshar doesn't have the bank he really needs to rebuild from the fight, so he is struggling on bases as well, right? He's lost this left one just now. This top right is still dead. He's got this one, which is only just set up. He might be about to lose this base too. I know that there's no gas here, but there's still minerals, and Namshar needs the minerals as much as he needs gas right now. The Corruptors and Broodlords make a push down the right as ShoWTimE positions himself up the left. So a little bit of a combo attack there, as we'll see units continue to be cleaned out. Those High Templar in trouble. Broodlords actually clean out a bit more than I think even Namshar would have imagined. Swamp to a carrier for some reason still left up here as some Tempest and so on the way over to deal with this. A lot of Infestors with this army though. Interceptors. Not going to do a crazy amount. It's the Tempest that will clean up those Broodlords very quickly. We're only talking about one carrier at the moment. Well, ShoWTimE actually gives up this bottom right hand base, so for the first time in a little while, Namshar I really feel has some quite successful damage here altogether. 17 probes down as well, so ShoWTimE taking a bit of a hit to that economy too. Zerglings and Hydras down the left-hand side. Some Zards will try and defend this base, but they'll be overrun, so ShoWTimE has to think about how he's going to deal with that. We do see Neuroparasite on the way on those Infestors, but it's not ready yet, and those feedbacks are pretty incredible, and a bunch of Infestors going down. The Infested Terrans will not really do anything at all, and that's going to be ShoWTimE able to keep chasing to the right side. Big losses from Namshar then, he's still yet to lose more in this, really. Meanwhile, Zards charge in, pick off these Zerglings, and yeah, it feels as though, Namshar just lost all of his Broodlords. You can't rebuild that, and without that, what are you going to do? Build Ling Hydra against carriers and Tempest? That's not going to work. And these hiders down here are eventually going to go down as well. Good cleanup by ShoWTimE. Defending around the map as he cleans up bases that Namshar absolutely needs to be mining from here to stay in this game. It really feels like we are going to have ShoWTimE picking up this game one. I mean, back at the 10-11 minute marker, it was Namshar controlling the game. It was Namshar all over, dealing damage. But ShoWTimE hung in there. He really made a hell of a series out of this as results will continue to come forward. See a couple of hiders going down. Well played is called, and ShoWTimE picks up game one. Right hand side here on Disco Bloodbath. Our blue Protoss player up a game. This is ShoWTimE. Taking on our red Zerg player in the top left hand side, Namshar, Infinity Gaming. Really fun game number one. It's the exact kind of game you expect to see when ShoWTimE and Namshar come to play a series, because their styles really do just send them towards these kind of later game scenarios. So jump right into okay, number two. Excited to see what's going to happen, guys. If you're enjoying this series, do consider checking out the Matcherino page. !Matcherino in the chat. There are a bunch of free clickable links so you can support the prize pool for free, and it goes a long way to supporting the tournament. So please check that out. !Matcherino in the chat. Support the WardiTV Summer Championship if you do enjoy the stream, if you're enjoying the games for the tournament. Because if you're enjoying the stream in particular and you want to support, it is September. Don't forget, bit cheers are 10% extra when you cheer with the Subway bit cheer badge. And don't forget as well, you do have also the chance to subscribe for half price. So if you are currently unsubscribed, half price subscription. Check it out. Go wild. Subscribe to your heart's content. We've got brand new StarCraft based emotes, so you can make use of those as well if you'd like to. You get the replay pack from this tournament, including all of these games you're seeing today and more. So yeah, plenty to dig your teeth into if you're subscribing. Overlord's coming across the map to see what's going on here. We got people in the chat asking for all 5 games if they're going to be like that last one. Yeah, it was a good way to start the series, wasn't it? It'll be interesting to see what continues to come out of it, because, like I say, these guys absolutely can put us in positions where we just see like that kind of gameplay, game after game after game. Like, it really is a, like a very, very typical sort of kind of Namshar ShoWTimE game. So I'd be expecting maybe at least another game like that in this series, if not a couple. Obviously depends how many maps we get here. ShoWTimE can 3-0, maybe we only have that one, but Namshar can take a map or two. I reckon we could get a couple of the longer games again. Anyways, Adept just going to chase down some slow Zerglings which head into the main, which will be successful in picking off the first probe. So first probe will go down, and the Adept able to clean up there as well. Pneumatized Carapace on the way up as well on the main. It's just going to be seeing that Overlord speed will give Namshar the extra scouting capabilities. Also means he can keep his Overlord safe against the Phoenix, and that Phoenix is already on the hunt. So this is Pneumatized Carapace before Link Speed. We've seen this a couple of times lately, where players are investing into that Pneumatized Carapace early, skipping Link Speed, and it means that they can save their Overlords, especially against the Stargate units, while also getting really perfect information early game. Phoenix back around to the bottom side, and it's flying back down this corner. You see 8 more drones already on the way out here. So yeah, a lot of building up at the moment. A lot of getting set and ready to go. He's going in towards the main base. The queen here from Namshar is ready to defend and deflect. Just droning up quite heavily. I mean, again, that Pneumataz Carapace, he has pretty good info of what's going on. So he knows that something's going to happen. That queen's going to get lifted by the Phoenix though, but there's another queen here with the Spore Crawler, so it's 2 drones and out. Not much more to be done there as ShoWTimE makes the quick dive back out down the left side. There's Oracle from ShoWTimE as well, coming over to the left, and the overloaded Namshar up to the top right corner. More drones killed. I mean, these Oracles so far, 3 of them, really allow us to put on a lot of pressure for the early stages of the game. Going back into the main base with double Spore Crawler. I mean, that's really safe from Namshar, really just committing to making sure he doesn't take any further damage, actually. So Namshar just slowing ShoWTimE down a little bit there when he would have kind of liked to do just that little bit more, but anyways, now we see the Twilight and the Forge, and ShoWTimE with the 3rd Nexus already on the way up. He's very safe here, actually. I mean, Immortal and a few sentries, but he's not looking to commit. He's investing into the Twilight and he's investing into the Forge. He's on 53 probes. So this is not a 2-base all-in here from ShoWTimE. He is just looking to kind of cause a little bit of pressure, maybe a little bit of concern for Namshar, maybe force a few units that wouldn't usually be made otherwise. Just try and keep the Zerg at a pretty realistic drone count, but I mean, ShoWTimE and Namshar both just droning up and probing up quite nicely. So for the moment, this game will get towards the next little stage, and that's where perhaps starts to get pretty long between the 2 of them. These few Oracles up in toward the main base. We're going to see the Queen is going to get taken down pretty quickly. Second Queen taken down as well. We'll actually lose another Oracle. It's 2 Queens and a drone going down, but one of the Oracles now lost. Again, this double spawn in the main is quite dangerous too, as we see a lot of Roach Ravagers. So Namshar on 60 drones is just saying, cool, I'm going to go for this. Roach speed finishing now. He is going to start Bane speed and +1 behind this, so he's got ideas of going later into the game, but I'm absolutely looking to see if we can get some damage done right away. Force field's dropping down. Corrosive Bow pops that initial force field as well. Another Corrosive Bow, not doing too much just yet. Zerg's running by and just going to be seeing them jumping on top of that shield battery. So shield battery is going to be dropping as well, as we still see Roaches and Ravagers pressing forwards. Another Immortal picked off, and again, get a little bit back and forth at the moment here. 2 more Zealots going to warp in from ShoWTimE on that 3rd base, and meanwhile, this Zealot going to be trying to pick off that Roach, but will not quite be able to in the end. Oh, good defense from ShoWTimE. Very minimal damage taken considering how much Namshar went into that fight with. If we look at resources lost, you can see that ShoWTimE traded very, very well. Only 800 resources better off. That's obviously quite significant when we're only talking, you know, it's like 25% more efficient than Namshar so far, so it's a pretty big deal. There's a really good defense from ShoWTimE, and now he's just going to go into that Storm, and he's going to begin preparing for the Ling Bane phase of this game, as well Namshar's ready to go into the next phase too. Spire and a Hive, so the Greater Spire is already somewhat looming in this game. Namshar's not going to mess around with Mutalisk, it would seem, as much as he did last time around, and probably will just kind of head straight up towards that Greater Spire this time. No Hydralisk Den, mind you, so he's also not going to be playing the Hydras. So it's really just looking to be kind of Ravage Ling Bane into a Greater Spire, get those Broodlords up nice and quick, and kind of force ShoWTimE into the late game with a bit of a push that he'll have to defend. When those Broods first come out, ShoWTimE is unlikely to have a lot to really kind of deal with it, so that first Broodlord push can become quite tricky to deal with. And that's generally what Namshar will somewhat be setting up for here. Let's continue to get this going. Prism about to complete, and plus 2 attack. Chrono boosting out on the Forge, a 5th base in the top right hand corner. Just about halfway done. Phoenix hanging out overhead. Greater Spire. Dropping down here from Namshar. 7 Balins in production. Plus 2 melee on the Evo Chamber, and again, just seeing some Queens pressing forwards. Dropping down some Creep Tumors. Pushing out into the center of the map here, as we do see this War Prism from ShoWTimE. Sets up a quick couple of Zealots to go jumping in on this hatchery. Zealot's going to start picking away at this, and it's actually taking quite a bit of damage here already. Zerglings going forward. Zealots will have to lift up there and back away. Still Lingbane, Roaches and Ravagers moving around, and it's not really been too much. Oh, that's a great storm to start this off. Those Zerglings take a beating. Some Zealots actually drop in towards the Ravagers as well. Also could look to pick off some of the Banes, right, when they're very low and not very clumped up, so... yeah, that was a good little couple moments from ShoWTimE. He's pushing across. He's already building carriers, by the way. You can't really push in, though, because the Broodlords are coming up. This cooling tower is going to get knocked down, and will unfortunately kill off these creep tumors. Die, creep, die. It's actually interesting because it does block Namshar from defending up here, but it stops ShoWTimE pushing into this base as easily. I feel like Namshar is much more preferring to defend these 5 bases and take this base maybe a bit later on. As you see, Zealot's actually going to drop off here already. A couple of Queens, which do have transfusions available, will be defending as long as Namshar continues to transfuse. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. Zealots, they're going to take a lot of the Queen energy away and eventually will get a kill, but it took a little while. So the extra Zealots that are really going to start making this more of a problem. Stasis Ward saves ShoWTimE from those Zerglings down over here. This is going to be a dead hatchery, but like I said, I think Namshar was pretty happy just to be already kind of giving this up, so I was kind of going to focus on this left-hand side base and this one up here as well for his 5 bases at the moment. As Zerglings come out of stasis and will just be killed. Again, efficiency from ShoWTimE is quite spectacular at this point. 3.2k efficiency lead. However, the Broodlords are arriving and ShoWTimE is not immediately pushing this back, so this is Namshar's chance to maybe get in there and to get some damage done. A couple of carriers will come forwards here and will start to pick off the Broods, but very slowly. The Corruptor's showing up. It's time for the carriers to back away. Zealot's still doing a great job across the map, but ShoWTimE loses his 4th base. He's trying to deny the 5th base of the Zerg play, and he might just about get there. It's pretty close. A couple of Banes and Roaches coming home to help out. Well, ShoWTimE losing the 4th, that Broodlord push has done a lot, and while Namshar hasn't been efficient this game, he is mining a lot better off than ShoWTimE, especially right now. ShoWTimE down 28 workers and doesn't have the bases, that 4th base especially, to transfer some workers to in the near future when bases start to mine out, like this one here. Could already do with a bit of a worker transfer. 12.5 minutes in, and honestly, feels like one of those games between ShoWTimE and Namshar yet again where we're not really going to be going anywhere. Just pick off that War Prism Lings down the right-hand side. Overship is going to be finishing in a moment or two. Carriers still just on the way out, and never really saw them Overship last game, but this game I feel like ShoWTimE, it's kind of going along without being as scrappy initially, right? So if you can have the chance to set up the Overship, you may as well get it set up right away. Last game was that bit scrappier, and obviously there was also Hydras in play. I wonder if that had a role or an impact on ShoWTimE's decision-making on getting the mothership or not. Corruptor's coming in, Core 6 raining down this Nexus. Bit of damage done. Broodlings pressing forwards too. Yeah, still those Broodlings that are kind of, and the Broodlords that are really being the problem here as Corruptors will move out over the side. Intriguing to see what comes of that. The Broodlords sort of back away. Corruptors have to just come back to defend. A little bit of an attempt to run by here is obviously not going to do too great. Pretty quick cleanup, but at the same time, Namshar's kind of just freeing up that supply probably to go into more kind of higher tech units. Let's say that he starts with 50 more Zerglings. It's just like, nope. Roots continue to take quite a bit of damage here at the moment. Continue to set this up. See the Interceptors continue to fight away. Storm dropping down. Corruptor's taking quite a bit of damage. Top right hand side, Zealots and Immortals continue to fight away. Hatchery will get picked off there, and again, just going to see these Overseers running around with some Zerglings up. I mean, ShoWTimE again is doing a lot, but there's Zerglings in the natural expansion too, so getting the locked in at the moment. Zealots continue to chase around, plus 3 melee on the Evo Chamber coming in. And again, just going to be having Archons and Carriers pressing in the middle. I mean, it brings Namshar still down to just the 5 bases. And ShoWTimE, if you can hold on to 4, is kind of okay there still. We'll want to probably re-establish over here to get his own 5th base up. A similar base layout to what we're seeing from Namshar at the moment is That's going to be enough Banes and Lings to break down the Zealot and Mortal Force, so ShoWTimE loses a lot of his aggression on the top right side of the map, but it did a lot. It's really traded well up until now, as we're going to see this High Templar should be looking for the Storms. Multiple High Templar here, actually a few of them further forwards than maybe they should be. Broodlords are now going to come in and try and hunt those down, perhaps. They'll get a first volley of Broodlings off. First High Templar goes down in an instant. Didn't even have time to cast a Storm in panic, as we do see the Archons are going to be a big part of this now. So these Corruptors get over the kind of the dead airspace, makes it more difficult for these Archons. I love what Namshar's doing. Moving over this dead airspace from one side to the other makes it so much more difficult for these Archons to keep fighting. It's quite crazy. Namshar has a bunch of money and has to decide what he wants to build. For now, more Broodlords and a couple more Corruptors. What else does he add into this? Does he go for the Infestors again? Does he go for maybe a couple of Vipers? At this point, I feel like I'd quite like to see just the Infestors, I think. The Vipers, I don't think really have much of a role to play. While Abducts are nice, it feels like you don't really need to abduct much into this army. You can kind of straight up fight, but the Infestors would help out with those fights quite a lot. You know, Parasites could do a bit of something as well. Great push from ShoWTimE, by the way. He's going to get rid of this base up here, and that's a base he's been looking for a long time. And I don't know, if drones are long distance lining, and now they're going to be stuck in a corner. There's no burrow upgrades, so they're not going to be able to find a sneaky way out unless ShoWTimE doesn't pay attention. He might be distracted. Lings into this natural expansion once again. How many times have we seen ShoWTimE punished for a weak wall-off on the natural at the moment? I mean, not a weak wall-off, but no Zealot as part of it. It's costing him quite a lot. We still have Archons and Carriers moving around the top side. The Broodlings, the Broodlords trying to be part of this once again. Now Namshar will be struggling a bit more because he's been having one of his, better external bases picked off here. Storm drops down. A couple of Carriers. They're not going to last forever, those Carriers. And honestly, the Archons have mostly just been picking off Broodlings, which means that they're pretty much just done now. There's not much more to be done, and as this gets pushed away, ShoWTimE will lose a good chunk of this army, so a good fight from Namshar. Puts him into a good position again. Another Tempest on the way out from the Stargate there, and he's going to be seeing another one up on the bottom side. Comes to take quite a bit more damage here. There's a couple of Broodlings still chasing over, and but the one Archon is just going to survive. As if, wow. Literally the 1 HP Archon. No, the Zerglings find it in the end, and they'll pay for their lives. Continue to charge in there, even the one that turned around caught in a storm. So you always bring your umbrella, especially when you're Protoss chasing. More Broods morphing in here. I mean, again, Namshar is very stubborn to move away from this composition. Just Broodlords, Corruptors. Is very just seemingly committed to setting up into this same style here as you see the Zealots picking up a few more Ling kills, Spine Crawlers. And pushed away a little bit as well. Corruptors have gone chasing down reinforcements over here. Tempests have been made, so changing up his units that he's going to try and use against those Broodlords and so on. I mean, Tempests rebuild a bit faster than Carriers, so rebuilding here kind of makes sense, especially when it's a game that's quite active and quite messy and scrappy. Making Tempest, which come a bit faster than Tempest, can definitely make a lot more sense, so. We do have a march of Broodlords coming down again. ShoWTimE will once more have to look for a way to turn this around. Broodlings drop on down, a few probes dropping as well, 7 probes killed. Space in trouble, bottom left base hit by Zerglings, that will fall as well. This is the main fight that matters though. Storms do drop down on top of the Broodlords, trying to get as much damage done there as possible. The Tempests are going to dive bomb the Broodlords. I mean, there's Corruptors here, but the Tempests just want to get rid of as many Broods as possible. Killing the Broodlords means the ground army can reign supreme. I mean, Corruptors don't matter if there's no, if there's nothing in the skies. So now those Corruptors are a little bit dead weight. They can try and caustic spray down a base. And they're still picking off Tempests. Stalkers coming over. No blink on the Stalkers, by the way. It's just been one of those crazy games. Fort and blink somewhere along the way has not really been on ShoWTimE's mind just yet. Now he will invest into it. All the Broodlords cleaned up again, but it comes at the cost of pretty much the entire ShoWTimE army, including his Air Force. Two more Balins on the way up from Namshar on the left-hand side. You're going to be seeing a few more Balins here getting picked up as well, and Corruptors Continue to fly away to this at the right-hand side. I mean, drones continuing to take a lot of damage. 20 workers killed. Great force fields. Oh my god. This is a drone graveyard now. 46 workers just like that. I mean, Namshar has nowhere else to really send those drones. He was just trying to get that base up and running, and well, suddenly Namshar's economy is down in the gutter as ShoWTimE makes some really big kills up in that top side. Now more Broodlords, now more Banelings morphing in as well. Stalkers once more pretty quick to jump on towards the Protoss there. Broodlord will morph in. Bane's continuing to roll forwards, and again, just Zealot and Archon being picked off. These couple Stalkers getting taken down as well. This was a bit crazy. Two more High Templar coming in. The Archon coming out the front. Zealot, Stalkers, and High Templar pressing forwards into the middle of the map. So that comes over into the corner there, and Little Bane's going to be shut down quite quickly as well. Really fun bit of back and forth here at the moment. As you're going to see, that's a nice blink to kill a Broodlord too. Some really good back and forth here, really is. I'm sure. Sits back defensively. I mean, he's sitting on 26 drones. He needs this base to justify then making more drones, because right now he doesn't really have anywhere to send new drones. Problem is that base is obviously not up. Zealots are looking around. They're going to go up to this top right, and then we'll head over here. And that's why Namshar has to, you know, be ready to defend that, while also holding his front with the Broodlords and the stacked defense that has now been established as well. So, sliding that up. So the Stalker's still pressing forwards here. A couple more Zerglings going down. Creep team is being picked off as well. A couple more drones being taken down too, and still just seeing more Lings and Corruptors still coming into play. Lings running down the bottom, and again just going to see Stalkers and Templar, Zealots and an Archon moving around. That's going to be a kill on this Nexus here, so Nexus will fall as Zealots wander forwards, charging into this, and as he blinks up to the top side, we are going to see the last few Zerglings going down. ShoWTimE in this scrappy game has seemingly been able to come out with the advantage once again. Hey, what's up, Solon2000? Thank you so much for the 1 year of resubscribing with that Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Get some love in the chat, please, for Solon. Thank you for supporting the channel. Stalkers over to the right, as Zealot pressing forwards to you, and just going to be seeing some more Broodlords still from Namshar up in the skies. So those Broodlords will die trying. I mean, in fairness, Namshar's army is the worst it's ever been to fight Broodlords, but there's also the least amount of Broodlords we've ever seen, so pretty funky. Broodlords going to be supported by a few Infestors as well. Namshar needs like a miracle fight, like he needs like the best fight possible here to be able to somehow make something happen. It's possible if maybe he finds a way to fight this and kill off this Antia, then the Broodlords remain and he can push, right? But I'm honestly not really that convinced we're going to be seeing the Tempest on the way up. And ShoWTimE, as he gets in towards a 5th base once more, will have that little bit of a boost in economy, which should lead him to being able to afford a few more air units in a proper response to this at the end. Tempest about to pop out, a couple more Corruptors on the way. Rolls back out to the left, back into the center, and Infestors pressing forwards. Trying to form a game. We're headed to the point where this last game was at. The last game was, what, 26 minutes or so? And ShoWTimE really does just have the advantage, and the big difference is, and the reason ShoWTimE is being patient is because he knows that given time, he's denied these bases, and so ShoWTimE doesn't have, Namshar doesn't have any further income. So because of that, as long as ShoWTimE is mining, his army is getting better and stronger, so he is in no rush to push. It's absolutely Namshar the one that should be trying to make the move here, which does take away some of Namshar's defenses that he might have needed to be able to win a fight. Pressing Broodlords, pressing down at the bottom. Broodlings jumping towards the next already. Few Tempest shops already doing pretty well. Here comes some Zealots and Archons from the side. Kills one Infested before a Fungal. Second goes down now too. Again, just the Tempest shots doing a lot of damage here. Broodlings continuing to go down. More Broodlings dropping in there as we see Zealots charging forwards as well. And this is looking as though it's pretty much going to be over. Back, Storm down. ShoWTimE takes game number 2 of this best of 5. Let's jump into this. Top left hand side, blue Protoss player. ShoWTimE. Going up against the red Zerg in the bottom right. Namshar from Infinity Gaming. Game 3 of this series. Get this up and running and see what's going to happen. See how things are going to go. Probe having a little bit of a wander around here, blocking this hatchery to begin with. I mean, Ephemeral, I feel like a lot of these maps you can absolutely get into much longer games on, so there's definitely some possibilities there of... Again, Ephemeron is absolutely a map that can go late, it can go into this style. I mean, it's tough to push across these bridges and so on. Especially after we've just seen 2 25-minute games. There really is obviously a tendency between these players to go into those kind of games, so there's obviously a real possibility for Ephemeron to give another game along those lines. Unless maybe we see some change up, right? Maybe ShoWTimE changes it up here, maybe he gets a bit more aggressive, maybe he decides to hit a 2-base attack. Maybe Namshar tries to change up, maybe a bit of a Nidus play or something. Because obviously for him, going into the late game against ShoWTimE is not really working out super well just yet either. So, a little bit of back and forth as we do see the Nexus dropping down on the natural side, Core building at the front. And just waiting to see what's going to happen next. Namshar needs to win this to keep this series alive. Again, loser of this series will play a Bly in the lower bracket. So, Bly lost against Fantasy yesterday. It means the winner of this will play Fantasy. That will not be today, though. The Bly match will be today. Again, by the end of today, we'll have a pretty good setup of what the bracket is looking like moving forward. So, that's obviously some pretty good information for us to have. Works quite well for us, of course. See this Twilight Council dropping down here from ShoWTimE as well. So getting that up and running as we do see the couple Zerglings of Namshar pressing up towards the top. So getting those up towards the top there, going to see a lot of lings being made actually. 18 workers. This is just going to be a ling flood out of Namshar. So ShoWTimE going to have to get defensive, trying to build in towards the Dark Shrine and the Archon drop. It's going to be quite tough to deal with the incoming Ling Flood. Now, he obviously has to wall off here. He's getting a shield battery. He has seen a lot of the Zerglings, so I think he has a rough idea of what might be happening here. Stalker wants to get in behind this mineral line as well. Well, Stalker's actually just going to stay as part of the wall. Means the Stalker will go down, means you also lose some of that potential holding that you could have had going on here. Shield battery will keep the Stalker alive for a bit. Problem is now that shield battery can't keep the Cybernetics core alive, and without the Cybernetics core kept alive, you lose Warp Gate. And the ability to make some of the units that are obviously so good at defending this sort of scenario. So, Warp Gate denied as Namshar's Ling Flood continues forwards here. This Adept is on the wrong side of things as well, popped out on the wrong side of the gateway. It's a ShoWTimE. Small mistake there too. Stalker is not going to go down just before the shield battery finishes. A bit more healing being done now. The shield battery will get picked off though, and ShoWTimE's continued wall off goes on. From this, ShoWTimE doesn't really have any units left. His army supply is... well, literally this one Adept and one Adept that's currently chrono boosting out of this gateway. He did build another Cyber Core very early, so he already has that started, and he's already started Warp Gate on it, so a lot going on from ShoWTimE here, a lot to keep up with. What might become a problem for him eventually is these rocks. If this gateway goes down, that's an access point you can't wall off. When this gateway is going to go down, then that next Cyber Core is going to be in trouble as well. Namshar still sending the Zerglings forwards. Pylon also going down, this Adept is getting lower and lower. I mean, The cyber core being built was nice, right? Because it allows you to keep on building the depths. But as the cyber core goes down again, this gateway drops, and again, that gives you access around this side. Another gateway, more production shut down, and at this point, the link flow will just continue and be a bit too much because now you can start getting into mineral lines. Now you start killing workers. Now you start putting some trouble on this, as we're going to see GG called, and Namshar will take game. In the bottom right-hand side, our blue Protoss player. This is ShoWTimE, who does fall short against the Link Flood. And the top left-hand side, our red Zerg Namshar. See what happens. As we will be eyes on Namshar, I think, to maybe see if he's going to turn into some extra aggression here once again. Again, the loser of this series plays Bly. That'll be our last series of the Summer Championship today. After the Summer Championship, we do have the after the Summer Championship, we do have the Christiana Cup in about an hour and a half's time is when it's going to be starting. So busy day. Do again check out that Match Arena page. Again, all through yesterday and all day today, we've not had a single cent on the Match Arena page. We've not had any clickable links clicked or anything along those lines. If you're enjoying the tournament, Match Arena is absolutely a way to support it. Exclamation mark Match Arena in the chat. I'm trying to get a new wave of coupon codes to be able to do a little bit better, kind of saving the day basically, but to kind of get you guys back on there, but so far no luck. Hopefully for next week we'll be able to get a few of those up and rolling again. Two queens on the way out as we do see this overlord of Namshar. And around the front of the natural expansion, so running around a little bit at the front there, getting ready to roll. Just picking up some early information as we do see ShoWTimE will once again commit in towards a Stargate-based opener. So Stargate drops down in the main. As we do see the hatchery coming in over on the left. Excuse me, guys, let me have a drink quickly. This is not the last match. We have one more match after this, and then we have a whole new tournament to cast. Double stream coverage today. We got you guys filled up with StarCraft action. We got you covered. Zerglings, drones taking some damage. These depth shades back out into the in front of the natural expansion. Phoenix on the way. So we'll just be seeing that probe coming down to the low ground. And this gateway dropping down over here as well from ShoWTimE. So setting that up. And we'll also have this Phoenix of ShoWTimE just nibbling its way through this Overlord and picking this off. Oracle now on the way out as well. Typical setup here so far then, nothing too surprising. As we are going to be seeing these balloon speeds coming up here in the main base, and the third hatchery coming down on that left-hand side. A second Oracle will start up too. And as we do have the Phoenix continuing up to the top side of the map. Should be joined by an Oracle here shortly as ShoWTimE shows his next little tech choice. It's going to be a robo facility, so you can still go into that third Oracle here, and it probably actually will. It's only the robo at the moment. It still has the gas to build the third Oracle, so triple Oracle here at the moment. Five drones in production on the natural. You see the Phoenix and the Oracle flying in over there. Gets one drone, nothing too major just yet. There's Oracle number 3 now being chrono boosted as well, so kind of as expected. And now it comes down to what does ShoWTimE do next? Does he build in towards some more probes? Does he go in towards, does he go in towards how many workers does he want to go into? Does he get the third nexus? Does he add on gateways? Basically, it's about identifying, is ShoWTimE going to play aggressively, or is he going to play defensively and expand? I mean, this is already a nice little information from Namshar. Sees a probe on the third, which is already a suggestion that he might have been trying to build a Nexus or so. So already gets a little bit of info there, if it's not even, even if it isn't direct. I mean, this is very similar to what we saw ShoWTimE doing before, right? Adding on sentries, adding on immortals, but then obviously just going for a bit of a move out to force some units and not actually committing because he does try to expand. And as he builds a few more probes, it looks as though he is really looking to drop this Nexus down in the next couple of moments. So probe comes over, we'll be looking to drop that as we do see the Adepts running around as well. Going to see the Queens coming in with the Zerglings to try and help shut that down, and we'll be able to pick those off. What's up, I Am False, coming in with the 5-month resub as well. Thank you so much for 5 months. Hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for subscribing. Much appreciated as we do see the Oracle. Back out into the center, Forge on the way in this main base, the Twilight Council coming down as well. Still seeing that Oracle Phoenix combo. It's going to start jumping in on the Overlord here already, so it'll start dealing some damage there, and I'm just going to see the Oracles. Not the Queen, I mean that's the power of 3 Oracles, you can really pick off anything that's out of position. Picking off the Queen there again just takes away some of Namshar's macro setup as the Hallucinate Phoenix get full scout off. They're looking for the tech choice on the lair. They do miss it because the Hydralisk then comes down after the Phoenix fly through. So missing that little bit of information is a little bit unfortunate. Using these Oracles, going to find Ravagers here. Instead of using the Immortal, that's what's so great about these Oracles as well. You can keep your units on the map safe. I mean, look at this. He's picked off multiple Ravagers, which is obviously crazy. Gets one which is trying to morph in as well. Good cancel. And it keeps this army safe because if those Oracles weren't there, that Roach Ravager Ling Force, it jumps on them Sentries and Immortal and it would go down. So it gives ShoWTimE that ability to pressure onto the map and create some map presence, force the Zerg to make some units. Phoenix in the main base. Gonna get an Overlord kill, which is quite nice. Actually, a bit surprising at this stage of the game, but still just moving around here as we do see more Zerglings coming down the right-hand side. Ravagers pressing forwards as well. A couple of corrosive bows there. Not quite going to connect on those Oracles. Now Sidestorm comes up. We're going to see the Lurker there. I talked in game number 1 about how Namshar loves to play like a Lurker-based style, and he really does. He plays the Lurkers a lot in this ZVP matchup, and now he's going to go into the Lurker Den finally for the first time this series. So he's kind of been, I wouldn't say he played unlike how I was expecting him to in the previous games though. Like he obviously just chose to go Broodlords, for example, over Lurkers, etc. But this is really kind of Namshar going back towards his bread and butter of ZVP. Even when this kind of style isn't popular, Namshar is still the one that will go Lurkers and play this out. And, also maybe expect some drop lords with pneumatized carapace to potentially come into play, dropping some hydras and so on around the map to try and, even Lurkers too, try and keep the game active, try and stay on a more aggressive setup than you'd usually get as the Protoss. As the Zerg, sorry. Of course, pulling out of the main, just going to be seeing a Revelation drops down on a couple of Hydralisks. Ravagers coming over to the right side. Look, Den is going to be completing from Namshar in a moment or two, as we do have those Oracles continuing to the right. So, setting those up as Zerglings from Namshar gathering together as well. We're going to be seeing this Phoenix tagging this Overlord. Taking quite a bit of damage again. A lot of Zerglings over on the right. The Revelations are great. Just being able to keep track of where these units are gives Namshar, gives ShoWTimE a good idea of what Namshar is trying to do. Namshar have a bunch of money in the bank. I mean, I guess he is a bad ability for Lurkers, right? And that's where pretty much all of his gas goes. 10, 11 Lurkers on the way in. As the Oracles pull away to the side there. To the Mortals trying to fight back those Zerglings on the right. We're just going to be seeing a couple of storms. I mean, obviously, ShoWTimE has been setting up well into this later game composition. Mortal Archon, High Templar has kind of the tools he needs to truly fight this army, but it does come down to engagements because Lurkers are one of those units that if you engage poorly into them, it kind of goes terribly, right? So has to be careful on this fight, as we'll see. I love this position for Namshar. Actually, this fourth base is a bit precarious because of the fact we've got this weird little kind of area in the center that's going to choke you up, and that makes it brilliant for the Lurkers to sit behind. However, Namshar goes jumping, ShoWTimE, goes jumping in on this, and more from the top side too. Doing a pretty good job. There's only 1 or 2 Lurkers left already, and this is a really good cleanup. The Oracle Revelation making sure those Lurkers are completely visible throughout the entirety of the fight, and that was a really good cleanup here by ShoWTimE. Resources lost is massively in his favor, doubling in efficiency here right now. And ShoWTimE might just like that be on his way to a victory in this series, which would set him up into the round of 8 against Fantasy. Should obviously be a very cool matchup as well, as we see those Zerglings running by the natural in towards the main. And it's coming over the left-hand side, hanging out in that main base tier. A few more Lurkers on the way up as well. Zerglings trying to get a bit of a surround on that pylon, but not really too much success, honestly, as Lurkers still pressing forwards. Was able to take those Lurkers down again. It's just another push from Namshar that's not really doing a lot, and the problem is Namshar kind of has to keep pushing. He's playing an aggressive style to try and break ShoWTimE down. But honestly, with this defense that he's facing, I wonder if he just has to try and pull back and reconsider what he's currently going for, because it's really not working out for him at all. More Zealots warping over on the right side. Archons in the center, and just going to be seeing those Lings and Hydras pressing forwards again. Couple of Lurkers morphing in. They're not ready yet, and that just takes away. I mean, it's basically fewer Hydras against what? I mean, it's kind of an endless amount of storms. There's a couple of storms still left. It's just so much storm net damage, and there's just so much splash, and there's just no way you make this work without the Lurkers, but the Lurkers keep getting taken down again and again. I'm just going to be seeing this army of ShoWTimE continue to press up the left-hand side. Hydra's still dropping. Hatchery is going to go down, so Hatchery gets killed, and still some Hydras trying to press in from the right side, but to no avail really, as we're going to see Archons and Immortals turning back around. Zealots setting up at the front as well. Just going to be seeing the Zealots continue to drop another storm down on the Hydralisks. And again, the Lurkers, just a couple of them morphing in again. A couple of Immortals on the way out. Lose the mineral line down again. As the Tick storms up on the high ground, ShoWTimE is just going to close this out to victory.